Hey, what's up, everyone? Zach here, or Zach Pack, whatever you want to call me. And today we're going to start off with my first video on this YouTube channel, which is going to be an anime review of the anime Sankarea. And this is the most recent series that I finished, and it was a 12 episode series that aired in 2012. And honestly, we're just going to start off by saying that it wasn't the best series. It had an interesting premise in the fact that the main character is obsessed with zombies. He's a horror movie enthusiast that is only he only finds comfort or affection in female zombie, like undead zombie girls, which is a very odd premise, to be honest. But it was a strong enough premise to where it drew me in, to where I wanted to see how the story would fold, like to how it would pan out. And it didn't hold up. The first few episodes were quite strong. It had an interesting premise in the fact that the guy had a cat that was run over, and he was attempting to resurrect this cat with a book that he had in his house that had various things on how to bring back the dead, like different theories and different stuff that clearly this has been done before in his family, and he believed that he could do it himself. And eventually, he does get the cat to come back to life with a mixture that he creates like a potion, and he gives it to the cat. And without really realizing it, the cat comes back to life. But they don't learn about that until a little bit later. The girl that he meets is her name is literally Sanka and then Rhea, so the two words separated, and they she lives in a very troubled home. Her mother isn't her actual mother, which is a big point later on in the story. And her father is an interesting character. Her father is obsessed with his daughter. Throughout her life, he's taken pictures of her, most of the time naked, to kind of keep a chronological, like, picture book almost of his daughter, and he has pictures of her all over the house. He has a room with all of her pictures, like a shrine dedicated to his daughter, and clearly he has a sexual affection for his daughter, and it is really abnormal and not okay. The guy is disgusting as a character, and I really wish he would have died, but he didn't. But honestly, the show itself had enough interesting characters to keep it going for a while. But what I ran into a problem with was the ending. The ending was the worst part of the show. Like, the first half of the show was really good. I was like, okay, you know what? These first 6 episodes are interesting. I really hope the second half holds up. And then the second half had, like, a filler episode that really wasn't important about, like, the sister, the main character sister. It literally had no purpose in the show whatsoever. It was like they held off the viewers from a week from reaching the climax of the show. The childhood friend character of the guy, which is very generic in a romance show. There's always going to be a childhood friend that ruins everything, and knowing her, she's a bitch and she tries to ruin everything. Her character served no purpose, wasn't a very good character, and literally I hated her the entire way through. If I was him, I would literally throw her out a window. Like, she was not a good character at all. She was dull, she was overly attached, and had no real premise to even have any affection for the guy, considering that the guy's a creep. He loves zombies. Why are you in love with this guy? He has no interest in you, and you're going to cling to him? Really? That's desperate. That's really desperate, and you don't need to do that. It would, like, honestly, it was unhealthy how much she loved this guy who did nothing to make that affection happen. Like, as a kid, he was a total puss cake, and then grew up to just be a nerdy, zombie-loving weirdo, and then all of a sudden he gets these chicks around him. I mean, now I understand for the zombie girl because she's taken care of by him, and her normal life is starting to unfold because he's doing everything he can to give her a real life. And that's something to admire. Like, the main guy is definitely improving as a character from the beginning. Like, at the beginning, she's kind of like this just average looking nerdy guy, and he kind of grows into, like, taking on his own responsibilities and, like, protecting her as much as he can, giving her the life she wants as much as possible, and taking care of her, like being a really good, well, almost like boyfriend, even though they're not dating. And he's definitely improves as a character, while most of the other characters just kind of sit still. And that's kind of one of my problems. They have a cast of people around the guy and the girl, and they don't really do anything beneficial to the story at all. He has two friends of his that literally do nothing to the story. One of them is a complete idiot, like, that literally will hump anything that breathes, and he serves no purpose in the show. And actually, in one of the episodes, causes such a hindrance to the show that I literally wanted to stop watching at that point because of how cringy it was and how much of an idiot the guy was. And honestly, it just kind of felt like the writing was really underwhelming in the second half. Like, they just kind of threw it together because maybe the manga wasn't done yet, but the manga is definitely better than the show. And of course, there's always going to be the argument of, oh, the manga's always better, it's always better, the show can never be better, and legitimately, most of the time that is actually true. For whatever reason, when these studios get these shows, they fuck it up somehow, every time. And this is another show that ended on a cliffhanger with a really bullshit ending that did nothing to give it any reason why anybody would want a second season. Like, they didn't give enough. They just made an ending that threw itself everywhere for the 12th episode, and then made specials that actually finished the story like a year after the show ended, which is complete bullshit. Like, why would you rely on giving the show an ending through OVAs? Most people don't even know those exist. Like, these are shows that are going to be put up onto, like, Hulu Plus, any of those streaming services. OVAs are not put up on those streaming services. Most of the time, specials and OVAs are watched by people like me that scrounge for it on websites where it's actually viewable. Other than that, OVAs aren't put up on Hulu and shit like that, and it's stupid. Like, why they think that would work, I can completely understand why the show is not given a second season. Like, I mean, you'll read reviews, you'll see other reviews of the show, and people will rave about it for whatever reason, like the show is incredible, and it really wasn't. The show is a really, really generic, ecchi, almost harem-esque show with, like, two girls and idiot characters all around him that had a terrible build-up to the ending, and just did not deliver on any angles whatsoever, and was a really underwhelming show. Like, alright, we'll get to the core concepts of this show so I could give rightful scores. The story, about a 6 out of 10. The animation was actually pretty good, 8 out of 10. Sound, like voice acting, music, stuff like that, 8 out of 10, pretty good. Characters, 5 out of 10, not very good. The enjoyment of the show, honestly, it was funny in most parts. The enjoyment for me was probably a 6. It was okay. And then the overall score, 5 out of 10. Honestly, the show just was not good. Those are my basic scores. Like, these are the basic concepts of a show, and just weren't very good. So, if I had to give it a final score, overall, like, 5 out of 10, 3 out of 5 stars. Well, that's my moderately angry review of Sankarea, which did not deliver at all. If you agree with me or disagree with me, let me know in the comments. If you have a particular show you would like me to review that I have watched, just leave a comment in the comment section of a show that you want to see reviewed, and I will review it to the best of my abilities. If you have a show you want to recommend or a manga you want to recommend, you can leave that there too. I will read it, and I will consider watching it, and maybe one day that show will be a review up here as well, and then we can see just how much your recommendation was, if it was good or not. And obviously, of course, you can comment, like, subscribe on the YouTube channel at any time. I'll leave links to my Twitter. I'll leave links to my Facebook. You can add me on there. You can follow me on Twitter. And you can also follow me on Hummingbird. This website is a great utility. Hummingbird, if you guys don't know, is a social media for anime. This is my profile up here. It lets you organize your anime that you have watched, like, Sankarea right here and anything else. And it kind of gives you an idea of where everything is and everything like that. You can write reviews for shows. You can write all kinds of different stuff. And, you can just kind of, there's forums and everything like that. You can explore anime to learn what you want to watch and everything like that, and it's a great website. So if you guys decide to join Hummingbird, or if you already have one, go ahead and follow me. My username is Saint Dre with an underscore in the middle. You can go ahead and follow me. I'll follow you back, and we can we can chat on any time on Hummingbird, and whatever you want to do. But anyways, sorry I got really distracted there. That was my review of Sankarea. Just what you guys know what to do. So I hope you guys have a great day, great evening, great afternoon, whatever time it is while you're watching. See you next time, guys.